Hello, my name's Andy, and on behalf of John Cassidy and Duplicates Inc., I would like to present to you MarketSMART, a new integrated marketing solution to put on top of your direct mail to gain an additional 23 to 46% lift in responses to your direct mail campaigns. This is a statistic that I'm going to bring up several times throughout this presentation. It's that it takes 21% less cognitive effort to process direct mail than any form of digital marketing. There is a mindset with a lot of prospects right now that direct mail campaigns aren't working the way that they previously did, but it's based on their own interactions with the direct mail that they receive every single day. People are getting their mail and they're filtering through it and they're throwing things away and not always necessarily reacting to it. They might not be running to your store. They might not be calling you and telling you that they got their piece of mail and that they're reacting for that specific reason. But you can memorize a logo, a brand name, a call to action, a business in the amount of time that it takes to throw something away. Direct mail is one of the only advertising venues that you are almost guaranteed that your prospect is going to have to see at some point. Even if their action is to throw away your media, they have to look at it. And like I said, they can commit to memory almost all of the details of your mail piece almost immediately, as opposed to an email campaign where you can very, very easily delete things that you have no interest in. It's not a banner ad that you can just skip, and it's not a billboard that you don't necessarily have to pay attention to. It's getting in front of your audience, and it's creating an emotional touch point back to something that they could ultimately hold in their hands at some point, and we need to replicate that. We need to make it work better. 90% of your customers are going to visit your website before they're going to take any action. 96% of website visitors are going to leave your website without taking any action. If you're spending money to market for yourself, you are also marketing for your competition. There's nothing that you can do to avoid that. Consumers want to make sure that they're getting the best possible price, that they're getting the best reviews, that they're working with a company that is going to fit them best. So they're doing their research. So what we need to do is integrate our marketing to make sure that we're going to communicate with our audience on a consistent basis. The average consumer sees between 4 and 10,000 marketing messages every single day. This is radio, it's commercial, it's swag that would be on a shirt or a cup, it's billboards, it's everywhere that you go. You cannot avoid being marketed to. So we want to make sure that we're staying in front of an audience that is receptive to our message and that we're standing out with that audience. We need to make sure that we have a unique selling proposition, something that is letting them know why we are the best and what we can offer to them that is going to be more effective, that is going to make us stand out above our competition. There are 4 major buying phases that people are going to travel through when they're deciding on making a purchase. It's an awareness phase where they're exploring your business and they're exploring their options for the first time. There's a consideration phase where there's price comparison, there's shopping, there's decisions that are being made. There's the purchasing phase where they have money in hand and they're ready to buy. And then there's the loyalty phase. The loyalty phase, in my opinion, is one of the most important. If you're not constantly marketing to your loyal customers, someone else is. Your loyal customers are only loyal to you as long as you have the best product in front of them for the best price at the time they're ready to buy. So repetition is essential to make sure that we're following people through these 4 major buying phases that they're going through. Understanding the challenges of marketing is going to be important. And when I talk about repetition, that's what these 3 slides have the most in common. You don't put a billboard up for one day and assume that your entire audience saw the billboard. You don't run a radio or a television ad one time and assume that everybody got to see your message. So we don't like treating our direct mail campaigns that way. With MarketSMART, we're going to get a consistent follow-up with everybody. We're going to turn that mail into multiple impressions. Everybody listening to this has seen this postcard at some point in their life. Repetition in direct mail is the name of the game. Calls to action is the name of the game. Giving somebody a reason to react to your postcard. My favorite thing about this very specific example is that there's technically two calls to action. There's a primary and a secondary call to action. And the secondary, believe it or not, is the 20% off. Their goal is to get you into the building. They aren't as concerned with giving you 20% off of some nice new fluffy bath towels. The main and primary call to action and the main goal of these postcards is the bridal and gift registry that's up there in that corner. I don't know if you've ever registered for an event, if you've ever done a bridal or a housewarming or a baby shower, but they give you the little scanning gun and you get to run through that store and you get scan happy. You're scanning every single thing that you can possibly imagine. You're scanning a $400 blender that you would never purchase for yourself, but maybe your aunt that lives in Tacoma, Washington, that can't make the wedding would purchase this thing for you and then ship it. So you can easily turn this 20% off coupon for a single item into a $10, $20, or $30,000 purchase if you can get somebody to register with the company. That is the main goal. So always think about what your initial goal is. What's going to get eyes on your company, and what do you ultimately want to do with those clients when they are yours? This is where the loyalty phase comes into play really, really strong. We want to make sure that they remain customers of ours forever. The entire process of MarketSMART is built around an omni-channel marketing platform. Most companies are advertising in more than one space, and they are doing it with different messages from one place to another. And that's what's considered multi-channel marketing. That's where you're starting with your own brand and you are trying to recreate it in as many places as possible, but the message might not always be the same. You're offering a discount on social media, you're offering free installation on the radio, and your message will change from one service to another. With Omnichannel, we are going to start with the customer and we are going to work with them through their experience with your organization with a consistent message on every single platform. We want to identify who your customer is and follow them through their journey with a consistent message every step of the way. That is where the memorization of those direct mail pieces can come back onto the table. If we can recreate that message that was put in the direct mail that they were able to memorize from a postcard that they could see and touch and feel, and we can recreate that message in as many places as possible, we're going to have a better chance at standing out. How are you identifying your customers? If we are going to start with the customer and we are going to walk them through the journey, we need to know who our customers are. What is your target market? How much of your target market share do you actually possess? Who are your competitors? When is the last time that you've done a customer analysis? Have you looked at the people that have bought your product in the last year and tried to recreate the customer platform so that we can identify the best new prospects that we should be reaching out to? While the focus of MarketSMART is direct mail, everything that we're going to be doing is based on the direct mail. We are not trying to replace any of the digital assets that you might have in play. So if you're doing some kind of a Google or a social media or a radio campaign, please continue to do that. We're not trying to replace what you're doing. We are trying to make the mail work better. We are not competing against your digital advertising efforts. We are using the direct mail as an activation point to recreate that piece of mail and make it work better for you. Once someone sees a message in their mailbox, they're going to be more conscious of it when they see the same message in other places. And that's exactly how MarketSMART is going to operate. It's designed to seamlessly track the effectiveness of your direct mail campaigns while enhancing the results through an omni-channel marketing platform. We're going to turn a single piece of mail into multiple impressions across multiple different platforms, but we want to maintain the same audience. We want to know to whom we're speaking and recreate that message on a very consistent basis. Anything that we would display digitally for you, I want to match the direct mail piece as closely as possible, and it will create a more clickable digital campaign. Hopefully by the time they're seeing our digital images, they have seen the mail piece. They've seen this in several other places, and it gives them a chance to react. 80% of your sales are going to be made between the 8th and 12th touch. Again, we have to follow them through that buying journey. MarketSMART is going to get you an additional 8 to 32 touches on top of every single piece of direct mail for pennies per piece. It's going to be less expensive to deploy these technologies than it will be to put postage on top of your direct mail. We have 13 deployable technologies that we can offer, and they are spread out amongst 3 unique jobs. And the job is going to be determined on your individual needs as a client. What is your goal and what is your audience? We have a campaign called a plus campaign that is based on expansion and impressions, where everybody is a potential customer. If you have a new product offering, if you have a new store opening where we want to replicate your image to everybody around, we can deploy a plus campaign. If mail list integrity is more important to you, if you have a niche product, or if you have something that you really want to focus on getting in front of a very, very specific audience, we would run a target match campaign where it's 100% mail list exclusive. If you're not on the mailing list, we cannot show you any ads for this. And we have a traditional MarketSMART campaign that falls in the middle of those 2 campaigns. We are very focused on the mailing list, but we are going to need to create a bit of expansion at some point. This is not a la carte. All 8 of these technologies that I'm going to show you are included on every piece of mail. So we don't have to decide if we want to do one thing or the other. It's an all-inclusive process. We are going to start with what we call social match. We are going to load your mailing list to social media, and we are going to find the accounts, the social media accounts of the people that are on the mailing list, on Facebook and Instagram specifically. You have about 2 seconds for a prospect to decide if they are going to put your mail piece on the refrigerator to look at it later, or if they're going to light it on fire and throw it over their shoulder. You have a better chance of them reacting positively to your mail piece if they've seen your message on social media prior. So we want to recreate your mail piece and show it to your audience, even while the mail is still in stream. We want to increase the likelihood that your prospects are going to react positively to your piece of mail. Every single campaign that we're going to run runs for 30 total days, and it starts on the day that we are going to drop the mail here at Duplicates for you. Social Match is going to run for the first 14 days of that campaign because it's more of an awareness. It's more of getting a buzz generated around your mail piece, but it's one-to-one communication with the mail list. Every single job that we run will get a dashboard. We are very transparent about how the program works. And it's a very simple, easy to read dashboard. It's got super simple key performance indicators, or KPIs. We're going to report how many impressions, how many engagements, how many clicks. We're going to let you know how well the campaign is ultimately working. We can do that at a very high level where we're going to show you all of the technologies, and we can break it down granularly and kind of show you each individual technology and how they're working. We're going to track every single piece of mail that you deploy in the campaign. There are several really important benefits of mail tracking, and the first and most important is going to be proving that we delivered your mail. We give you a predictive date on when it's going to arrive so that you can plan for potential inflow. We're going to give you a confirmation date to show you that these mail pieces arrived when and where they were supposed to. An additional benefit of tracking the mail is, again, taking advantage of the physical printed mail piece, of that cognitive effort and the memorization abilities of a printed piece of mail. I like to use mail tracking to help schedule and maintain your external follow-up. If you have the emails of everybody that you're going to mail to, if you have the phone numbers and you're going to do cold calling, I want to use the mail piece to help more effectively make that external outflow be successful. If we tell you that 10,000 pieces were delivered on March 22nd, then maybe schedule your email outflow to go 4 or 5 days after that. You can open up the email with, "We sent you a postcard earlier in the week. I'd love to know if you got that. Can I answer any questions for you?" You can start your cold call with, "I sent you a postcard earlier in the week. Did you receive that? Thank you very much. Can I answer any questions? Can we schedule a demo later this week?" That's an immediate warmer outreach than just saying, "Hi, I'm Andy from DuplicatesINK. Would you like to buy my product?" If you can reference something that they are already familiar with, you're going to have more success and more engagement, and they'll listen to what you have to say. Informed Delivery is a free platform developed by the USPS. If you're not currently signed up for Informed Delivery at a personal level, I highly encourage you to do that. If you go to USPS.gov and go to the Informed Delivery section, it's free to sign up. It's really easy to do. There's over 50 million people currently signed up for it. The open rates, the click rates are really, really impressive. What Informed Delivery does is sends you an email every single morning, and it tells you what's going to be in your physical mailbox. It allows you to monitor when and if you're going to go check your actual physical mailbox. And it's a really neat platform. If you're currently signed up for it, this is what you're going to recognize. About 90% of the time, you're going to see a grayscale, just a flat photocopy of the front of the mail piece. What MarketSMART is going to do is add full color ride-along images inside of that email that have a clickable link that goes directly to your URL. They can click this image and immediately be on your website so that they can potentially react to you and they can purchase your product. It's a really, really successful way of getting more impressions and more engagements to your mailing list. One of the main benefits for us as marketers is eliminating gatekeepers with Informed Delivery. Direct mail being successful is based largely on your audience getting to see your piece of mail. But if the spouse or the teenage kid is throwing away the mail piece before it gets to your prospect, they don't ever get to see it. If they're signed up for Informed Delivery, they get to see your postcard, even if they don't get to physically hold it in their hands. And that can be very, very important to make sure that our audience is going to react. In my personal opinion, I've been in the direct mail game for a little over 3 years. I've been in marketing for over 10. In 2023, if you do not have a QR code on the front of the mail piece, it's almost wasting that entire piece of mail. If you don't give people the opportunity to react immediately and be on your website with a simple click or a simple scan, you're asking to lose that client. Not all prospects are tech savvy. They're not all smart. So if you don't have your search engine optimization set up in a way that you're the very first person that is going to come up when they Google you, you're asking to miss that. If they have to Google what your business does, if you run an air conditioning company and they have to search air conditioning companies in Myrtle Beach, and if you're not at the top of that list, you just have successfully sent a postcard and marketed to somebody else that has their website development set up better than you do. So give them the opportunity to immediately be on your website from that printed piece of mail. We have a capability of doing a static QR code where every single QR code is going to be exactly the same. There's nothing unique about it. We can also do dynamic or personalized QR codes where every single person on the list is going to have a unique QR code that is specific to them. So if they scan it, I'm going to be able to tell you whether Andy or John or Jim or Bill were the person that scanned that QR code. And you'll be able to more effectively outflow and maintain with those people. We'll tell you total scans versus unique scans. We can report whether it was an Android or an Apple device if you find that valuable. There is a portion of your marketing dollars every single year that is effectively wasted. We want to more accurately determine where your dollars are being spent well, and call tracking can help us do that by giving us some attribution to the mail piece. We want to print a unique phone number on the front of the mail piece. The only place on the entire planet that this number exists is on the front of that mail piece. Customers can give you false reportings. You can ask them point blank, did you receive my postcard that I sent when they're calling? And they can still tell you no. But if they called the number that's on the front of this mail piece, there's no possible way that they could have gotten your information other than receiving the direct mail. So proving attributions to these campaigns are going to be really important, especially in some high dollar closing scenarios. If you're selling houses, if you're selling roofs, if you're selling swimming pools, where your average close could be worth $30 to $40 to $50,000, proving where every single one of those closes came from is going to be important, and we can help do that with a call tracking number. Every single call gets completely recorded, so you can go back and identify pain points through the call to make sure that you are addressing things correctly. You can monitor how your call service are answering the phone to make sure that they're doing their job proper. And we're going to give you full demographics, not just a caller ID number of the person that's calling. Every technology that we've talked about up to this point has been 100% mail list inclusive. You have to have received the mail piece to be able to react to any of the things that we've done so far. Online follow-up is the first time that we're going to go outside of that mailing list, but we're still going to keep a really concentrated audience. This is pixel-based retargeting, where we are going to display images to your prospects based on their activity on your website. Again, 96% of people will leave your website without taking an action. They're going to go visit your competition. We want to show ads for your business on your competitor's website and follow them through their buying processes. We want to make sure we're getting a consistent presence and we're drawing people back to your website. This is also another really good example of how the omnichannel comes back into play, because I want the ad that they're going to see on the websites to match something that ideally they've seen 3 or 4 or 5 times now, hopefully getting them a really good chance to click and engage and really react to your message. The dashboard is going to report how many visitors we're following, how many ads we've displayed, how many clicks that we've received. Your conversion rates are going to go up. Your website visits are going to go up. It's a really, really effective way of maintaining a presence. We are going to, again, do pixel-based retargeting, but we're going to do it on social media. Facebook and Instagram, again, specifically. With the exception of the actual physical mail piece, these social media follow-up ads are going to be probably the most important displays that we're going to get. And it's because of the way that people interact with their social media. Your social media feed is exclusive to you, and it's the same on every single device that you would ever go on. If you log on to the work laptop that you're watching this webinar on, or your cell phone or your tablet, you're going to see the same feed. So if I am using my work day and I'm using my work computer to investigate printers that I might want to have do my direct mail campaigns, later on in the evening, after dinner's been made and the kids are in bed, and I'm mindlessly scrolling through Facebook while I'm watching TV, I am going to see ads for a business that I was investigating on a different device in a different location at a different part of the day. These are directly correlated to your website, and we cannot show these displays if they have not been to your website prior and shown an interest in your organization. So every display is going to an interested party, and every click is going to represent a minimum of 2 website visits because they've already been to the website. 65 and up is the fastest growing demographic on social media currently. We were in a scenario about 3 years ago where we had to do Thanksgiving dinner over Zoom meetings. The older generation is being forced to dive into technology and social media like they've never done before, and they're active on it as well. They want to see pictures of the grandkids. They want to argue with strangers in an anonymous situation. The older demographic, which I assume is the target demographic of a large portion of the people that are watching this webinar, are on social media and they are reacting to it. So we need to get in front of them when and where they want to be reacted. Lead batch is going to anchor everything together. We are going to capture mailing addresses of anonymous website visitors, even if they didn't take another action. Google Analytics can tell you how, why, and when somebody arrived on your website. What Lead Match is going to do is tell you who that person is and what their actual physical location is. This is going to allow us to follow back up with them in a lot of really interesting and cool ways. I'm also going to give you the top 5 pages on your website that they visited. I like to use nonprofits for this specific example because we can really help you grow your donor base with Lead Match for a nonprofit. So we can reach back out to people with very specific messages. If I'm giving you the top 5 pages that a user visited on your website, you can reach out with a more specific call to action. If they visited your volunteers page, or if they visited your events page, if they visited the donation page, or if you have a page on your website on how they can take advantages of your service, we need to talk to people in different ways. If somebody is reaching out to your nonprofit telling you that they need to take advantage of your food bank services, you don't want to send them a follow-up message asking them to donate because they're obviously a person in need. And it's the same across all of those other scenarios. If somebody's reaching out to volunteer and help you maintain your services, we can reach out and tell them that there's a way that they can volunteer and help the organization. So we can use Lead Match to more effectively follow up. If we mail 5,000 pieces in April and we've had the Lead Match pixel running throughout the 30 days that the campaign is running, and we capture another 500 addresses from the back end of your website, we can increase your mailing list to 5,500 pieces potentially. And we're putting new people on that mailing list that have already shown an interest in your website. This isn't a study of demographics on who we think is going to react, or it's not based off of previous donors. It's based off of their interest in your website. Your donor base is going to change. We are going through the biggest transfer of wealth in the history of the world currently. And your donor base is going to start leaving their money to their millennial, to their Gen Z and their Gen X descendants. Just because they've never donated to you does not mean that they're not willing to donate on their grandmother's behalf on their birthday because they know that she's donated her entire life. So this is a really good way of growing your donor pool and getting in front of people with a really effective concentrated message. We call this system direct mail retargeting, and it's where we are going backwards. We were previously, with the rest of these technologies, using the direct mail to drive them to the website and to get more display images so that we can recreate our message more often. Direct mail retargeting is the reverse of that. We're using their website activity to capture their address so that we can respond to them physically with a piece of mail, and the response rates are astronomical. Those 8 technologies that I just went over, from social match all the way up to lead match, that is a marketSMART campaign. That's our standard campaign. It's our bread and butter. It's what we offer the most often. If your goal is expansion, if we want to create a wider net and you have the opportunity to capture a larger share because your product works for everybody, we will talk about a plus campaign. We are going to include the initial 8 technologies that we just discussed, and we are going to add 4 additional technologies to it with YouTube discovery and very enhanced geo-targeting ads through Google and social media. All 4 of these technologies that I'm about to talk about are going to be very relevant to your campaign. These aren't just going out willy-nilly to every single person in the world. We are going to make them geo-specific. They have to be in the zip codes to which we're mailing, and they have to have shown an interest in our product. I call them digital breadcrumbs. Your journey on the Google Display Network, your journey on your Google search bar when you're reading articles and you're searching for things is leaving behind digital breadcrumbs or a digital footprint of the types of things that you're interested in. Again, you are going to be marketed to. You cannot avoid seeing ads. So let's make sure that we're going to see ads for things that are pertinent to us and getting them in front of people. YouTube is incredibly effective as an advertising platform, and don't be scared at the prospect of serving up YouTube ads. These don't have to be complicated. What I want to do in the ideal situation is we are going to take a video that you've already created that already lives on your YouTube page. But the difference is somebody has to physically seek you out. They have to go to your YouTube page and request to watch one of your videos to get it served up. We are going to take a video that lives on your YouTube page and we are going to force it into an ad that somebody is already watching. Maintaining this presence, maintaining this audience, and getting in front of people where and when they are actually looking for things is hugely important for us when we're marketing our businesses. YouTube is the second largest, it's the second most visited website on the planet behind Google. My graphic is outdated here, and I apologize because it's the third largest search platform in the world right now. TikTok has officially taken over YouTube as the second largest search engine in the world. While we don't have any plans to start advertising on TikTok right now, YouTube is still the place where people are. It's the one where our target demographics are actually viewing things that they're interested in. YouTube ads are going to allow us to take advantage of more social media platforms other than just Facebook and Instagram as well. Because if you're watching a YouTube video, you are watching it on that platform. If you're on Twitter or if you're on one of the other social media networks and you're watching a YouTube video, you're watching it on YouTube. So if we can get the displays forced into those ads, if we can get the videos to be forced in, we're going to get to take advantage of some other networks. You see discovery ads every single day, but you probably never had a name to give them. Discovery ads are going to show up in your Gmail inbox. We do not need emails to get these displayed because it's not an incoming email. It is a forced advertisement that's being displayed to you in your Gmail inbox. So we're going to get these into the promotions tab of people's Gmail inbox. It'll be on your Google homepage. While you're scrolling through news stories and things that you're interested in, you'll see ads for the business that you are interacting with on a daily basis. And we're going to take advantage of YouTube again, and we're going to put static banner ads on the bottom of YouTube videos while they're playing. So we're getting kind of a 3-to-1 display campaign with these discovery ads that are going to be really effective. We are going to follow all of that up with incredibly enhanced geo-targeted campaigns on the Google Display Network and on social media, again, on Facebook and Instagram. Again, we want these ads to be relevant. We want them to match the mail piece. We want them to match that social match image that they've already been served up and create that emotional touch point. The way that geo-targeting works and how this is going to expand your audience is we're going to put a pin in the middle of a zip code, and we are going to draw a circle around that pin. It may be a quarter mile, it may be a half a mile, it may be a full mile around. It depends on how big of a reach you want to create, but we are going to find all of the devices that are inside of that circle that are relevant to your business and your campaign and make sure that it's geocentric and relevancy specific. So this is how we're going to increase our audience and get people more excited about looking at our platform. Those technologies included the initial 8 base technologies plus the expansion. That is our plus campaign, and it's based on reaching more people. If your goal is the opposite of that, if your goal is mail list integrity, we can run a campaign that's called Target Match, where every single one of the displays that we are going to operate for you are 100% mail list exclusive. They have to receive the mail piece to get it tracked, scan the QR code, receive the informed delivery, and see your message on Social Match. We are going to add what we call addressable geo fencing on these. Geofencing is drastically different than geotargeting. With geotargeting, we're drawing that pin that's a mile around. With geofencing, we are going to find an address. We're going to find a house, and the circle that we're drawing around that house might only be 200 feet around. We're only concerned about the people that are in that house. My favorite example for geofencing and why this would be beneficial to you is for higher education or for schools. Your target audience needs to make more than $200,000 a year, and they need to have school-age children in the house, or we're wasting displays. There's only 5 houses on this block that meet that criteria. We will show it to house A, and we don't have to show it to house B that's their immediate next door neighbor. So if reaching out to a very specific audience is your goal, we're going to talk about a target match campaign. What we're going to do is upload your mailing list, and then we are going to create a geofence around that address that's based on really, really accurate data. It's verified GPS data, it's property lines, it's from as many different places as we can pull it. What we're going to do is we are going to identify all of the people that are within that address. I want to identify Andy at 123 Main Street. Once we identify Andy as being a resident of that address, the really cool thing that we're going to do is we are going to match devices that are associated with Andy. We are going to find both of the phones that I carry around in my pocket, both of the laptops that I carry around on a daily basis, and the tablet that I watch basketball games on in the evening. Every one of those devices are going to be targeted to see displays for our campaign, even after I go outside of the geo-fenced area, because that is the address. I am a person that dwells in that address, and all of the devices in that address are going to be identified. We have a 90% match rate with this technology. We can display ads to 90% of your mailing list successfully and really give you the best opportunity. We do a lot of EDDM campaigns here at Duplicates Inc. So if you don't have a mailing list that we need to reach out to, we can potentially do a curated list. We are going to saturate an entire carrier route and get your mail pieces in front of every single person in that area. But every single person in that area might not be a potential buyer for your product. How do we want to segment that list? We've got about 3,400 different targeting options that we can put in there. Do they own the house, or are they a renter? Do they have school-age children in the house? What is their political affiliation? What type of purchases have they made in the past? So we can actually get you a curated list to display these campaigns, even if we're doing a potential every door direct mail campaign. If we're doing a business to business campaign, we can potentially get you a list of actual business owners, people that are a better likelihood that would ultimately buy our product. We've got really great analytics, and we can also prove some really important conversions. If you have a brick and mortar store, the call to action on your campaign is to drive people to your location for the chance to purchase something in store. We can geofence your actual physical location. We mailed to Andy at 123 Main Street. Andy may not have actually bought something online, or he may not bring the postcard into the store, but he walked into my store with his cell phone in his pocket that we've identified as being registered to that address. We can actually prove conversions for you. We can prove click-through rates. We can prove weighted actions on the website. If we're tracking the website and someone clicks on one of the ads that we've displayed for them, and they ultimately go through the process of making a donation or booking a demo or purchasing your product, we can prove to you that that person that clicked on that ad made a purchasing or a decision action. We call them weighted actions. So we can help you actually prove your conversion processes. That is exclusive to a target match campaign because we need to be able to geofence the individual locations. And I'm more than willing to have individual conversations with everybody that's watching this. You're going to get a dashboard to view the results, and I'm going to help teach you how to read these dashboards and what these numbers mean. I am not going to go through all of these case studies and numbers. I find it to be a little monotonous while I'm just reading stats to you that you could more easily peruse on your own, because we're going to send this recording and we're going to send this list to everybody. I am recording this webinar after the fact, so we don't have any opportunities to answer any questions, but some of the questions that were brought up were in the privacy fields for, does this work for medical campaigns? And absolutely yes. We are not going to do anything that is not going to break any HIPAA violations whatsoever. We just need to get a little bit smarter about how we're going to deploy these campaigns. One of my favorite objections that people give to me after I do these presentations is they feel that it might be a little bit creepy, that they think that their prospects will be offended that they are being reached out to in this way. And my answer to that is, if your prospects are ever offended that you are marketing to them, if they're ever offended at seeing a display image that you present to them, they were never going to buy your product in the first place. They were not a buying candidate if they're going to get upset about it. So it doesn't matter if you offend those people. If you are displaying these campaigns and you get 5 people to buy your product, but you upset 20 people that were never a buying option, they were never going to purchase your product in the first place, you made 5 conversions and you upset 20 people that were never interested in your product in the first place. So don't ever let thinking that this is an invasion going to deter you from actually making money and getting a return on investment. I would love to answer any other questions. We can set up independent follow-ups, reach out to John Cassidy. He is going to be on the email that sent you this recording and this deck. So please don't hesitate to reach out. I'd love to talk to each and every one of you. Thank you so much.